Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Friday. We are in Friday. How you guys doing today? Hopefully, you guys are doing pretty awesome. As you're coming in, I would implore that you go ahead and say hello in the chat, so I know that you're here, so I can give you a shout out. Also, if you guys would like, there's a poll that's currently running right now. And if you want to go ahead and answer that, this is like a hypothetical question. So it doesn't mean that, if you are like superly happy with your current provider, that you must switch to one of these. It's not that type of question, but it's just, if you had to switch to a provider that utilized the Verizon 5G network, which one would you actually choose? And then in today's video, just to give you guys an idea of what we're going to be discussing, I'm going to go over actually four. I know there's three listed in the title, but I'm going to go over four services that you could utilize the Verizon network with. So we're going to kind of just, be comparing Visible by Verizon to Total Wireless, to Mobile X, and then to US Mobile, and just see which one currently, as of fall 2025, which is offering a better deal for you or for most people out there. So we're going to be comparing it. We're going to talk about the ups for each of these providers. We're going to be talking about its low points as well. Of course, things you have to keep in mind too is that, Verizon coverage, if it's good in your area or if it's not good in your area. So those things are, absolutely things you have to take into consideration. But again, if you want to answer the poll question, let me know what you would choose. That would be superly awesome. And if you want to explain in detail why, feel free to post that in the chat. I would love to read you guys' responses on that. And you can go as detailed as you want to for however long the chat allows for character, because they have character limitations. But you could drop that in there, and I would love to see that. And I think other people watching that are reading the chat too as well would love to hear your thoughts and opinions on that. So that's actually pretty good. And then I'm going to talk about an activation issue that's going on regarding Google Pixel 10s and Metro by T-Mobile, and technically how you can resolve that. So I'll get into that in today's episode as well. And then later on today, a video is going to be dropping my thoughts about iOS 26.0.1. So be on the lookout for that video later on today. Happy Aloha Friday. Glad to have you guys here and welcome. Happy to see you guys. And yes, we are 3 days into the month of October. It's like my favorite month of the year because Halloween is my favorite holiday. And I think maybe, aside from the fact that I got a lot of Amazon flexes to do next week, I may pop up in like a Spirit Halloween shop and maybe do a live stream from inside there, as long as those people don't kick me out. But just to kind of see what animatronics display they have set up and everything like that, because they usually do like a display setup, obviously, because they want to sell. So I think from what I've heard, the theme of this year is a haunted subway train ride. So they have some sort of display set up like that at Spirit Halloween. Let me know if you have a Spirit Halloween in your town and what displays they have set up. I would love to know if it's like the same all across the United States or if different states do different things. That's something that I would definitely want to know about. I'm gonna go ahead and check the poll right now. Looks like someone already casted a vote, so it's like a 50-50. So 2 people had voted already, I believe. Yeah, so we got 1 vote for Visible by Verizon, 1 vote for Total Wireless. Interesting way to start off with these, but thank you guys for voting. I'll keep those votings going on. And yeah, by the time that I'm done with this subject, talking about the 4 different Verizon prepaid MVNO carriers, I'll close out the poll and we'll see what the final results are. So yes, other than that, I mean, how is your guys' day going so far? Feel free to chime in on how your Friday's starting off for you. I got a couple of hours before I go for my daily jog, where I meet up with my kids and pick them up from school. I stopped driving them to school just because, I'm trying to get fit and back into shape and everything. So, running for 3 miles to get to their school and then walking back with them for 3 miles also gets them, some exercise while we walk back home and talk and everything. So I got like an hour to spare for this live stream. Anyways, yeah, I'm rambling on like a rabbit. So anyways, yes, there are 4 clear options for Verizon network usage when you want to not subscribe to Verizon postpaid or their main prepaid, which is Verizon prepaid. There are other options that you can do, and I know some of them are pretty much under the Verizon umbrella already. So that would be, Visible by Verizon, Total Wireless are under the Verizon umbrella. And then you got companies like US Mobile, which identifies themselves as a super carrier. And then you got Mobile X. And each of them are unique in their ways and what they offer and everything like that. So I kind of wanted to go over this. I was asked about it. I kind of get questions regarding this, and people were just like, I want to use Verizon services, but which one should I go with? Should I go with Visible? Should I go with Total? And so I figured, I would just kind of lay that out for fall of 2025. Of course, every year these companies do change up, what they have, what they offer, and as well as introducing, promotions for, new subscriber signups and things like that, right? So it changes periodically. So I definitely want to, outline for what's going on in fall of 2025. So, we'll kind of just get into it. So first off, we're going to start off with Visible by Verizon. This is, a very well-known one for some time. They're pretty unique in a specific way that, they're not really all about family plans and stuff like that. Like, they don't promote like 4 lines for 100 or 4 lines for 85, nothing like that. They're more of just like their main, I guess you could say, subscriber base would be a single person user, right? You get, with their base plan, you get, unlimited talk, text, and you get unlimited access to Verizon's network for $25 a month. That's pretty much what their pricing is. That's not a promotional price. That's not, with throttling or anything like that. That's just really what it is. And then the even coolest part about that is the hotspot, because you are allowed hotspot on Visible, and that's, sorry, hit the mic. That's unlimited. I mean, they say that it's capped at 5 megabits per second. So your downlink and uplink is capped at that. If you're using hotspot, meaning that you're using your hotspot on your phone and you tether that data services to an IoT, whether it's a tablet, laptop, smart TV, etc., right? But I mean, that's still pretty cool. Now, they do say that there's limitations on it. I'm here to literally tell you guys, like, yes, I know that the limitations they claim, where it's like one device connected at a time, isn't necessarily true. I've connected multiple devices to one phone that had Visible service, and all of them were getting shared data from the hotspot toggle. And so, but it doesn't mean that it's supposed to be that way. So just because I can tell you guys that it doesn't, it allows more than one device, doesn't mean that it's supposed to. So anyways, but Visible over the years has really kind of just switched up and changed up on a lot of things, disregarding their plans. So the plan services that they offer have really changed. It used to be just one plan, and now it's moved up to 3 plans. So you have these 3 different plans right here. So the base one that I'm talking about, the $25 plan, that is the base plan. That one right there, literally, I mean, if you just want to have, cheap phone service but unlimited data services, that's a pretty good one. Taxes and fees are included on all these plans, so the pricing that you see is the pricing that you pay: 25, 35, and 45, right? For Visible, Visible Plus, Visible Plus Pro. What are the differences between them? Well, that's pretty simple. With the base $25 plan, you're getting access to Verizon's 5G and LTE network. The thing about that is that you're not connecting to their ultra wideband. So you're only connecting to basically their low band 5G, which averages on download speeds I've seen is like 200 megabits, a little bit higher than 200 megabits per second on the download, and about 20 to 20 to 40 megabits per second on the upload. Latency usually averages anywhere between like 32 milliseconds to 16 milliseconds, depending. So, I mean, not the ultra fast blazing speeds that you see people on YouTube doing speed tests for. But I can tell you guys one thing about it is that even though it's like at 200 megabits per second, low band 5G access, I can tell you guys that the network quality, which is something that's not really talked about when it's like, you know, when people are comparing the data service plans, the quality of Verizon's network is really good. I can see why Verizon kind of like has this chip on their shoulder where they can boast about their network and everything. Because even if you look at the numbers, 200 megabits per second versus like say like a carrier on the T-Mobile network, which, you know, someone does a speed test and they're getting like 240 megabits, you know, per second, which is like basically 1 gigabit per second speeds. It would seem, of course, you know, that the T-Mobile one is faster because it has, you know, 1,024 megabits per second speeds. However, well, the network quality does make a big play there, because even though Visible is at 200 with their base plan, I have never had an issue when I was on Visible where, you know, things would buffer, things would be a bit glitchy, pages would be a little bit slower to load, downloading an app would like start off blazing fast, but then kind of like glitch and slow down at like 43% and be kind of stuck there for a couple of seconds before resuming speeds and downloading the rest of the app. Like, it's always been kind of fluid, the network connection with Visible's low band 5G. So even though one in numbers shows faster, network quality plays a very big play. So this is something that you need to start taking into consideration when you are looking at network performance. But yeah, so that's Visible in a nutshell. $25 low band 5G access. And if you step it up a little bit, with Visible Plus, $35 a month. Obviously, you get access to their ultra wideband network. And then with that one, it says unlimited premium data on Verizon 5G, 4G. So there's limitations to the ultra wideband access. Once you pretty much run through that, you will always have unlimited 5G in the low band sector, be able to maintain access with that. They have smartwatch service available add-on for $10 a month. Spam and robocalls are blocked. So little bit of extras there. You got international with the $35 plan, or basically Visible Plus, and then the global pass, which $15 off Fios home internet. So if you have Fios home internet, you'll get like a $15 discount just for having this plan. So that's actually pretty nice. And then you got the $45 Visible Plus Pro. So it's all the benefits of Plus an additional more. Obviously, unlimited, access to their ultra wideband. You have international, you have hotspot. Let's see, you have calling to 85 plus countries and unlimited texting to 200 plus countries. 2 global pass days per month included, $20 savings, $15 off Fios home internet, and free overnight shipping on things. Whereas like on the base one, it's free 2-day shipping. So they prioritize your shipping, your ordering for like devices, phones, stuff like that. And you have the option, you can pay monthly, but if you were to switch it up, you can actually pay annually and not have to worry about phone service for an entire year, right? $275 for the base Visible, $375 for the Visible Plus, and $450 for the Visible Plus Pro. So you can do monthly or annually on that. Not bad at all. So, that's Visible. Not too much going on with them. And one thing I will tell you is, if you're wanting to know, do they have a lot of deals on devices? I would say not so much. Sometimes they do have some pretty good. They have some pretty good sales. If I'm going to be honest with everybody. Hey, what's up, Titus? Happy Friday, man. Thanks for being here. So right now, they do have the iPhone 17 Pro. We'll wait for this page to kind of just load up here so you guys can get some insight of what devices they have. But I mean, for the most part, in general, you see, there's not any promotional deals going on with Visible. So I mean, you get the iPhone 17 Pro Max, and and you're going to be paying full price for it. So like the only way you're really going to be able to get these devices at a cheaper price is if you go through Affirm, which is, you know, where you can technically finance the device. I think like depending based on you, they'll determine like what a down payment would be and then what the remainder balance of the phone is broken up, I think over a couple of months. Like it says here, 36 months. So yeah, that's like 3 years. And you can finance any of these. Of course, you know, they have the iPhone 17, which currently is out of stock. Doesn't surprise me that it's out of stock. Most people went after the iPhone 17. It just, you know, it was the better value. But if you can see here, full price, $829, right? So yeah, kind of a bummer there. You get the Galaxy S25 Fan Edition. Of course, no sale on that. Pixel 10 Pro is coming here soon. And you can see like the Pixel 10, $799 for the Pixel 10, and then, you know, $999 for the 10 Pro, and 10 Pro XL is at $1199. And then you got like the older Pixels, which doesn't make no sense to me right here. Doesn't make sense. The Pixel 9 Pro is $999, so the Pixel 10 Pro $999. So, yeah, I don't understand that logic here. These should drop down in price, honestly. And I'm pretty sure Visible will probably sell a lot more of these phones if they were to reduce the price. What up, B-Tech? I'm glad to have you here. And if you haven't voted, vote the poll. Vote the poll. Where we're at right now, we're at 4 votes right now. We're currently sitting at 25% for Mobile X, 50% for Visible by Verizon, 25% for Total by Verizon. So right now, Visible's in the lead at 50% of the votes. You know, Pixel 9a and Pixel. See, this is what's weird. Wait, why is the Pixel 8a $549? Like, is this the 256 model only? I wonder. I'm just curious, so I'm gonna go take a look. Let's see the specifications for. Yeah, this is just super weird. I remember it's different at the beginning. They would give you a phone. Yeah. Let's see. No, crazy. What? Visible? Why? 128. So. Why is it $50 more? Oh my gosh. I don't understand this logic. Yeah. I would say personally don't buy Pixel 8a from Visible. You're going to get ripped off. Look at this. What? Yeah, you can also trade in a device if you want to get a new device through Visible. I believe the devices on Visible are not locked to Visible. They're unlocked already. So, but I just don't understand this logic. Can anyone else kind of give me a little insight here? Why do you think that they charge $549 for a Pixel 8a, but $499 for a Pixel 9a? Does anyone want to take a stab at it? Because I'm not sure, but that's not a pretty good deal in my book. In my book, that's just, yeah. Yeah, no, they don't update their prices either. I definitely see that. But, you know, the new problem, like, for instance, is that pre-owned? Yeah, pre-owned price for an iPhone 12, $199. And then pre-owned price for an iPhone 13, $278. I bet you this is where people on OfferUp get their pricing when they want to sell their old iPhone 13 and they go to like Visible. They're like, oh, $278, so I'm going to put mine for sale for $278. Like, yeah, no way. Look at that Galaxy S25 Edge, $1,099. Jesus. Anyways, I still have to. Oh, look at that. iPhone 16e, $599. Okay. I still don't understand the logic of this though. I just don't. $499 for a Pixel 9. You might as well just go 9a. Like you might as well. Why pay $549 for the Pixel 8a? Anyways, I'm getting lost in this right here. There's just like So that's Visible in a nutshell. Plan-wise, that's Visible in a nutshell. Now, I can tell you guys that when I've traveled across country, Visible, for the most part, has been semi-reliable. There are times where I go into places where there's, like, dead zones. So, yeah, that's a bust. And then, of course, there's no call-in tech support or anything like that. Everything is done through the Visible app, through chat. So that could be a bit annoying for some people who demand resolutions at the moment that they are contacting Visible to resolve an issue, because things is done through chat, and you'll chat with somebody. And yes, when it comes to their customer service, I've dealt with reps who have not hung up, but have ended the chat with me. Whether they want to say they ended it by accident, I'm sure, they probably like disconnected from their Wi-Fi. It could be like I had internet issues and that's why I went down, because sometimes there's issues where they just don't know how to resolve it. And rather than just being upfront and honest and say like, we don't know what's going on, so we'll have to like create, we have to create a ticket and have one of our back office team engineers look into it as to what's causing it. Rather than them going that route, because I don't know why you're chatting, you're not even hearing my voice. You can't hear me, Visible, if I'm yelling at you. They just go ahead and pull the plug on their Wi-Fi and just, boom, they're gone. Anyone try Walmart Mobile? I haven't tried Walmart's family mobile thing, but I know that before they used to use T-Mobile's network. I don't know. I think they use Verizon now. I don't know, because they were part of TracFone, weren't they? If I remember correctly. But anyways, yeah, that's Visible in a nutshell. Now, the next one, MVNO, basically founded by Peter Adderton, and it caters in a different way compared to Visible. So in their eyes, they are strictly behind their, you just need to pay for what you actually use and not pay so much money, for phone service. Because that's really what it is. Like, I guess statistically, they are in the logic that, people are paying like $50 for an unlimited plan and they're only using like 1 or 2 gigabytes of data. So they can get like a phone plan that's like cheaper than $10 a month. That could help. Yes, it could, but, I think the problem with this brand, with Mobile X, is that people are scared to just do the pay for what you use type of thing. They are scared. So they're conditioned to like that safety net. Like, people would rather pay $50 and say to themselves, I know I have fully unlimited data. And then to just go for like what they normally would use in a month, say like 3 gigs, and have like a $12 pricing a month. That $12 pricing sounds really good, but then the fact that they know that there's a limitation to what they have, they kind of forget that they could actually adjust that. And I'll get more into that here in a little bit. But anyways, yeah, so Mobile X has become a bit confusing, so I'll try to break it down as best as possible, because they can be a little bit weird. All right, so like I said, Mobile X, its main front plan is, this build your own plan. So they offer 10 days for you to try out their services. So while that 10-day service is a trial for you, right? So it's 10 days or 10 gigabytes, depending on what you use first. They have an AI that pretty much predicts your usage based upon that trial period. So that trial period, you would use your phone as you would normally use your phone. And the AI would just be watching how you use your phone. Not looking at what you're doing, but just like how often you're watching YouTube, how often you're checking social media and stuff like that. Like, how often are you using data? How often are you using, calls and texts? And once the 10-day trial is done, or if you reach 10 gigs of usage, it will then tell you a forecast of what it predicts what your usage would be in 30 days. As you can see, you can build yourself your own plan. So you can choose like how much talk and text you have. You can choose how much data you have, etc. So you can literally have yourself like a phone plan that's like under $10 a month, especially if you're a low data user. You don't really use it all that much, or like you're mostly at home and you're mostly on Wi-Fi at home. So when you leave the house, you're not really using data. And then, you can build yourself a plan that's like, pretty much cheap and not have to worry about stressing over your phone bills and stuff like that. But if you're someone that's like used to the traditional type plans, they do have their unlimited plans. This is a little bit different though, compared to their partners, basically, because Mobile X is, for the third-party retailers. So they have a business, they have business dealings and business plans with third-party retailers, and they have their own specific set of plans. So this is where it gets confusing to people. So if you're doing it from the app right here, you have two different unlimited plans. You have the unlimited 10 and unlimited 30, right? Unlimited 10 starting at $14.88. And the reason why it's at that price is because to get a physical SIM without having it being shipped to you, the fastest way is you can get it at Walmart. And Walmart, when you go to Walmart, right, you see their prices on things are like, $10.88 or whatever, right? So they're kind of like in junction with Walmart pricing. Because with taxes on top, it comes out to about $25 for the unlimited 30 and $15 for the unlimited 10. Anyways, yeah, so you have basically those options. Of course, they have international usage. It's $10 a day, and that's for the Global X international roaming. Then you got the international calling, which is just $2 a day, so you can call outside of the US if you want to. Now, this is through authorized third-party retailers. These plans you can only get at those stores. So if you have like a mom and pop shop that sells phone service or whatever, and they've partnered with Mobile X, these are the plans you'll find in their stores. You won't find the other plans. You'll find these plans because they can't give you a 10-day trial when you sign up in their store. They just can't do that. So they have three plans that are offered in the store: unlimited 10, unlimited 30, and fully unlimited. So if you're somebody who wants the fully unlimited that we used to get before at the $25 pricing before Mobile X switched up things, then you would have to go to an authorized dealer, which kind of sucks for people. I'm going to be honest. It does, because not every state, not every major city has a third-party retailer that's selling Mobile X services. So, you would definitely have to utilize their map on their website, which we'll get to here in a little bit, and then you'll be able to see what I mean. But the unlimited plan is, in fact, the unlimited service. Now, crazy enough, and crazy thing that's happening is because Mobile X is shifting their plans. They are, so you'll have, and it's not based on these, it's based on the plans sold through their app. So the $14.88 and $24.88 plan, they're coming out with what's called Mobile X Gold. Mobile X Gold gives you priority data access on Verizon's network. So if you're on, say, the unlimited 30, which I'll go back up to it here, but if you're on this plan, the unlimited 30 for $24.88, if you get the Mobile X Gold version of it, it's going to be $29.88, so $5 more. What that means is that you will have higher priority data access on Verizon's network through Mobile X. So kind of like, what Visible was doing with Visible Base and then Visible Plus. Well, that's kind of like what it is. You're just getting better priority access on Verizon's network. And I don't believe it applies to this because they made no mention of the authorized dealer plans getting these treatments. So it's through the app. So while the unlimited plan is through an authorized, retailer, the gold plans are only through Mobile X's app. So, they kind of do this thing where it's like exclusive to one side or the other of the business. And that can cause confusion, especially when you have an unlimited 10 and unlimited 30 at, $10, $20 per month for the unlimited 10, $30 a month for the unlimited 30. That's going to confuse the heck out of a lot of people. Because can you imagine this? You walk into work and, you just switched over to Mobile X because they seem like a better fit for you. And say you got the unlimited 30 plan. So you get 30 gigabytes of high-speed data, unlimited talk and text. And then your coworker has Mobile X too. So you guys are talking about, you guys love being on Mobile X. Mobile X is so awesome. And, you're just like, you're glad you made the jump and everything like that. And you're like, I'm on the 30 gigabyte high-speed plan. And, I pay $30 a month. And then your coworker's like, oh, really? Why are you paying $30 a month? I only pay $25. You see where the confusion starts to kind of come in? Like, I know why they priced those the way that they did is because for instance, the unlimited 30, just to answer this question for some people who have asked me, the unlimited 30 plan from an authorized retailer at $30 a month, 25 of it, that's Mobile X's take. $5 is what the authorized retailer makes, kind of like a commission type thing. Right? So that's why they have it priced at that. Let's see. I like what Mobile X is doing and trying to help consumers, especially with on demand. Yes, that's their biggest selling point. That's the reason why, like with their unlimited plan, seems so convoluted. But the most clearest aspect of Mobile X is obviously the build your own, pay for what you use. It's because that's what they're really trying to do. Like if a lot of Americans got on board with Mobile X, as far as like, I'm tired of paying $50 a month for fully unlimited data. I only use 2 gigs of data, and like say millions jumped over to Mobile X for their AI forecasted build your own plan. I am for sure more than likely than anything, Mobile X would drop a lot of their unlimited plan options, because that's what their end game goal is to have people not spend so much money on phone service. See, joins the San Joaquin Valley. Glad to have you here. Welcome in. And I'm with Xfinity Mobile. My internet use is moderate to high. Okay. Mobile X is $10 cheaper, but of course Mobile X cannot offer unlimited internet on their Wi-Fi network. Dude, look over there. Look over there. It has a price of $50. You see that? It has a price of $50, unlimited. It's just, it sucks, right? I'm pretty sure you'll agree with me, Joyce. It sucks for that unlimited 50 plan because it's not something you can get through their mobile app. You have to go through an authorized dealer to get this plan. But they do offer unlimited, like fully unlimited. There's, see, unlimited. And it includes 15 gigabytes of hotspot. I don't know why. Anyways. So this is where, this is where it hurts, with that $50 limited plan that, I'm sure most people would have gone for. Okay. So, let's see here. Let's zoom into my city. All right. Let's zoom in a little more for an example. Okay. So Express Insurance Service LLC, which is 2011 West Bethany Home Road. This is what's crazy about it. Okay, so that's a third-party authorized dealer. All right, and then the rest of them you see is like Walmart, Glendale. All right, so like the lime green with the kind of like grayish X logo with the white accents, those are Walmart stores. All of these are Walmart stores. I'm getting a chat message, so let me see what's going on here real quick. What is going on? Do 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 do. Yeah, all right, yeah. That's funny. Anyways, B-Tech sending me some screenshots there. Shout out to B-Tech. On OnePay Mobile. Yeah, there's a lot of mobile services coming up. And that will probably be for like a different subject, because this one I'm just focusing on the most known carriers that run on Verizon's network. That's the theme here, is Verizon. But anyways, yeah, so okay, so what I was saying is the lime green X's, those are Walmart stores. The darker, kind of like a winter green with the white X logos, those are authorized dealers. So in the area of like Peoria and Litchfield Park, or West Green Estates, Alhambra, Bethany Heights, Maryvale Village, like around this area, there's only 2 authorized dealers. So this is where, if I wanted the Mobile X unlimited plan for $50, this is where I can only go. Walmarts do not sell it. I went into a Walmart and asked them about signing up for a plan service, and the guy was like, bro, like, We just sell those sim kits. I was like looking at him like, bro, are you high? Did you go to break and, hit the Puff the Magic Dragon? Like, why are you so zoned like a zombie? But aside the fact that he seems stoned out of his mind, they don't sell the plans in Walmart. So the only place that I could go get fully unlimited is these two stores. Which, let's see what. The other one is Electronic Trading. I know where this is because they repair phones. Electronic Trading. So they have a showcase of smartphones that they sell. These are phones that maybe they acquired over like buying over places like OfferUp and whatnot. And then they recondition the phones, refurbish them, and sell them back out. And they sell a mobile X service. So I would have to go to one of those two places. Anyone comfortable dropping a zip code that they know? And let's see how many authorized third-party retailers are in their area. I'm going to do one. Let's do Hawaii. 96818. That's the zip for Honolulu. All right. So this is on the island of Oahu. Why? Because this is the most famed spot destination for people who go on vacation to Hawaii. They go to Waikiki, the place where they think people walk around with freaking flowered shirts and pineapple juice and hula dance. Of course, then you got Maui, which is over here, and you got the Big Island. We call it the Big Island because it's just called Hawaii. And this is where you have places, this is where like the active volcanoes are. So Kilauea is on this island and everything like that. But where I lived at is on this island, Oahu, and then to the west of it is Kauai, and then here is the lovely island of Niihau, where you cannot go on that island because that is the only spot in the world where there are full-blooded Hawaiians left. And so they stay on this island so they don't commingle bloods and thin out, because the Hawaiian race is nearly extinct, if people didn't know this. When you go to Hawaii, people that you meet there that say they're Hawaiian, they're not actually full-blooded Hawaiians. They're not 100% Hawaiian. They're not even 50% Hawaiian. Okay? I know lots of people, that have Hawaiian in them, and like their lineage is like, 6 to 10%. That's very small. So there's a very small group of full-blooded 100% Hawaiians on the island of Niihau, and you cannot commingle with them. They are cut off from the rest of the world. They come to Oahu like every so often to get supplies and everything like that, and then they go back to their island. Anyways, yeah. So if you guys see here, there's 4 places in Hawaii. This needs to change. Peter Adderton, make this happen. Go visit Hawaii. Man, you know what, Mr. Adderton, if you go to Oahu to go visit, you could probably procure a lot of good deals with, local shops on the island. But at the same time, too, you could have a lot of fun hiking, mountain climbing, and biking. So hit up Hawaii, man, and get some more places open there. Get some third-party retailers there so people can get the $50 plan. Because, if I lived in Hawaii, like if I moved back home, I'd be so SOL. Because if I wanted that $50 unlimited plan, where the hell am I going to get it? The only way that I would be able to do this is like to find one in California, call that shop, make a deal with them that I'm going to pay them over the phone by credit card. And then I would have to activate eSIM. And then I would have to do it that way. So, man, that totally sucks. B-Tech offers a zip code. Let's check it out. All right. He says 78501. Survey says you have one authorized dealer in this area. One. You have a bunch of Walmarts that sell the sim kits. Let's find what that authorized dealer is. Infinite Net Cell, 1708 North Tower Road, Suite B. That's in Texas, 78516. That is the only place you can get the $50 in-store plan. Anybody else got a zip code they want me to check? It doesn't have to be your local area zip code. You can use a zip code that's 35 miles away from you. I don't care. We're not looking for your home address. I just want a zip code to see. 55604. Let's do that. All right, so this is Longview, Texas. They have no authorized dealers in Longview, Texas. Everything is Walmart. You see what I mean? So there's not a lot of third-party dealers. So to get access to that $50 unlimited plan, not everyone's going to be able to access it. And I'm pretty sure, honestly, and I'm not trying to be an asshole, but I'm pretty sure that's the reason why they even have a $50 unlimited plan. Because all these you have to go in store. See, check out our dealer locator below to find the nearest Mobile X retailer to you. Well, a lot of big towns don't have them, so you can't get access to this plan. So you're gonna have to go with their in mobile app subscriptions. That's why. So, having the $50 unlimited plan, I'm pretty sure most people are just like, I would say they would have less than 10,000 subscribers on the unlimited plan for Mobile X, because there's just not enough places to get access to that to activate on that. And from the last that I checked, if you sign up through a authorized dealer store, I was told that you cannot convert from one of the plans you got through the authorized dealer to one of the online mobile plans. So if you wanted to drop down from the $50 unlimited to the unlimited 30 plan, but you didn't want to pay $30 a month and you wanted to pay only 25, you cannot, because you signed up through an authorized dealer in store, so your account wouldn't have access to those plans. You would have to start an entirely new account in order to get the unlimited 30 at $25 through the mobile app. So you'd have to create a whole new account to do that. I don't know how true that is. Someone cue me in on that. Yeah, because I haven't ever signed up through an authorized retailer. I signed up through Mobile X apps always, and they've, for the most part, they've been really cool with their customers. I think it's a bummer though that they had to reduce back down to these, because their fully unlimited plan at $25 a month was pretty awesome and amazing. And I don't know, maybe Verizon just twisted their arm because they were rivaling Visible, which is owned by Verizon, and yeah, they just took hold of all that. So you pay $15 after discount. Oh yeah, with Visible, yeah. Let's take a look at Total by Verizon. Why does this even exist? Why didn't they just freaking merge this into Visible, or just merge this all under Verizon Prepaid? I don't know why they have the ones that they own. I know Mobile X can't be merged into Verizon Prepaid because they don't own it. But Total by Verizon owns, and so is Visible. Why don't they just merge them all together? I don't know. That's just me. Simplify things. Okay, so let's look at all the plans that they have, in case you're interested in Total by Verizon. Total by Verizon does have some deals, right? You can get an iPhone 13 on them. Well, let's look at their phone plans as I wait for them to load their phone plans. Load it. And here you have it. So theirs is more of like a traditional prepaid that we've seen from 10 years ago, right? So $50 for an unlimited. That's with autopay. Without autopay, you're paying $55. It's unlimited 5G data that won't slow you down. 15 gigabytes of hotspot, calling to 180 countries, texting to 200 plus countries, roaming in Canada and Mexico, plus roaming in 30 plus countries. And then you get Disney Plus Premium for 6 months on them. So, I mean, these are one of the ones that kind of utilizes those additional perks. So almost close to postpaid, if that makes any sense to anybody out there. So anyways, I guess you could say Visible is just straight for talk and text unlimited. Mobile X is very customizable, fits the needs that you may have, and you can even maneuver it in times where you need to make small adjustments in life. Then you can do that with Mobile X. And then Total by Verizon to me seems like the next tier up from the previous two, where you get the postpaid type treatment almost. Disney Plus Premium. Then you get the Total 5G Plus Unlimited plan at $60 a month with autopay, or $65 for your first month, or $65 without autopay. Unlimited 5G data that doesn't slow you down, so it gives you the same thing there. Unlimited hotspot, so it bumped up from 15 gigs of hotspot to unlimited. And then the same benefits as the $50 plan, right? 180 countries, 200 plus countries for texting, and then roaming in Canada, Mexico, and Disney Plus. Then you got the $40 base 5G unlimited plan, which is, unlimited data, and then 5 gigabytes of hotspot. Calling to 85 countries, texting to 200 plus countries, and then roaming in Canada. So it does drop down the amount of accessible countries on this plan. And then you get no Disney Plus, none of that other stuff. So that's what Total by Verizon is offering. Of course, the reason that Total by Verizon's even looked at is because they got deals. So you have in-store deals, and you have, let's look at the free 5G phones and see what they're offering for free. Look at that. Get up to 4 free Moto G stylus 5G phones. That to me right there looks like the 2024 model. Switch and get a great phone. So you get like the Galaxy A16, A36, or the Stylus 5G 2024 for free. iPhone 13 you get for $50. Moto G Power you get it for free. iPhone SE 3rd generation you get it for free. And I'm pretty sure you have to port your number over to get those. So, yeah. They do also have set limitations, right? Like the iPhone 13, you can get it for $50 when you switch over to Total by Verizon. And you got to be on the Total 5G Plus unlimited 3-month plan. So, there you have it. That's Total by Verizon. All right, so the last one we're going to take a look at here is US Mobile. And this one's also a pretty slightly unique experience because they consider themselves as a super carrier. The reason why is because they have access to the top 3 MNOs, right? AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. And so when you go with any of their plans, you have the option of choosing. Now, US Mobile favors AT&T's network access, which is why they heavily push the Dark Star plan. Dark Star representing basically AT&T. Then you have the Warp, which is Verizon, and then you have the Lightspeed, which is T-Mobile. And the cool thing about it is that you can switch between the MNOs, not on any given moment. Of course, you would have to contact customer care, or you have to log into your account via the app, and then you would have to make that change yourself. And I think you can do like 1 or 2 a year. So like, if you live in a town where Verizon's predominantly good, you can be on their Warp Unlimited plan. However, say you move to a new city and everything, and T-Mobile is better than Verizon there, then you can actually switch your service over without changing your number or creating a whole new account. You just switch your data connection. So if you're on eSIM, that's probably one of the big benefits of eSIM is because it just has to be reprogrammed. But basically, you can move from the Warp connection on Verizon to the Lightspeed connection on T-Mobile. And then, if you move to another place and AT&T is dominant there, but then you can switch over to Dark Star connection. So, that's one of the benefits of, US Mobile. And we're going to go take a look at their plans. So don't worry, I'm going to get into the whole activation issue with Metro by T-Mobile for the Pixel 10s and, how to resolve it. That's coming up here in a minute. Let me just get through these plan comparisons. Right, so you have an annual only unlimited flex. So it's basically you're going to be charged $17.50 a month. So the total for 12 months comes out to $210. This gives you unlimited data, talk and text, but the data is actually capped at 10 gigabytes of high-speed data. 10 gigabytes of high-speed data. Once you pass that, you're throttled for the rest of your build cycle. You get 5 gigabytes of hotspot. You can add on the smartwatch. You got international data add-ons that you can add on. International calling and text, $2 per network transfer. That's what I was talking about, being able to switch. So like if you're on this plan and say you're, when you signed up, you opted for the T-Mobile connection. Where did my US Mobile go? What did you do? Get away. Go back. Anyway, there we go. Yeah. So this $2 charge is if you want to switch. If you want to move away from the T-Mobile connection and jump on the Dark Star connection, well, then you would pay $2 for that. So that's on the unlimited flex. But basically what they have, and we'll go monthly here. We're not going to go with the annual plans, but monthly unlimited starter is $25 a month. It's unlimited high-speed data, unlimited talk and text, 20 gigs of hotspot, smartwatch add-on, international data on, international calling add-on, $3 a month. $2 to do a network transfer, and multi-network add-on for $10. Now, what the multi-network add-on is say like you sign up for US Mobile and you decide to go with Warp, which is Verizon. But there's areas around you where Verizon gets weak, but AT&T is better. So you want a second option. So what they'll do is that for $10 more a month, which will make it $35, you'll get access. So they'll have you install another eSIM, and then that one will be registered on the AT&T network, and then you would just go into your phone settings and just have it where you toggle on the ability to switch between the data connections when one is weak, so it'll automatically switch. You'll toggle that on your phone, and then basically you'll be able to connect to AT&T's network when Verizon's weak, and then when Verizon is strong, you'll switch over to Verizon's network. The downside to this is that the secondary SIM that they have you install for the multi-network add-on, it's a whole new number and everything. So you will end up getting text messages and stuff from that number as well. To resolve that, just disable the calling, and whatnot on it, and just have the data on only. But you still can't help the fact that those messages might come through, whatever. So you can, you just have to deal with that. But yeah, so you have that option with the unlimited starter. That's pretty cheap, $25 a month. Then you have the unlimited premium, which goes for $44. However, they're running a discount where you can get it for $35 a month. I've tried that discount code. It didn't work for me. My bill was screwed for the 3 months that I was on there, and they could never fix it. So I was just like, okay, it is what it is, but not that big of a deal. Still a pretty good value right here. Unlimited priority data access. So that's the difference in keywords there you got to see between the premium and the starter plan. So the starter plan, you get unlimited high-speed data. So you're going to be mostly connected to the low-band 5G. That's pretty much that. But on the premium, you get unlimited priority access. This is where you're on a higher QCI, or basically a higher priority level connection to the network. So yeah, you have that. Unlimited talk and text, unlimited hotspot, which is different from 20 gigs of hotspot on the starter plan. And then you get 20 gigabytes of international data. So on the starter, you have to add that as an add-on. So obviously you're going to be paying additional for that. On the premium plan, you get 20 gigs given to you. You get international calling and texting. You get free network transfer. So rather than paying $2 for network transfer, you get free network transfers, but I believe you can only do 2 in a year. And then multi-line connection perks. So you get that plus the multi-line network add-on for $10. So if your promo code gets you at the $35 monthly price, you're pretty awesome on that, because then you're just going to be paying the full price for the unlimited premium when you have the network add-on, which will make it $45. So you're golden. You're good on that. That's what basically they offer. So I'm going to go back over to the poll here and see where we're sitting at. So we got 6 votes total so far. 17% for Mobile X, and then we got 50% for Visible by Verizon. We got 33% for Total Wireless, and nothing for US Mobile at this point. Wow. I thought maybe one of you guys would have voted for US Mobile, but nobody voted for US Mobile. Very interesting. Very interesting indeed. All right, so let me just kind of close that out real quick. All right, so anyways, yeah, those are the different ones, and I'm gonna go ahead and end this poll right now. So let's see, let me get to the comments here. I paid $50. I wouldn't mind trying Total by Verizon just because the phone unlocks after a few months. How's the blue phone that I sent to you? So I really didn't get much time to play with the blue phone just yet. I'm actually going to try and activate it on Total by Verizon and then actually use it. It is locked to their network, obviously, but you have to have it activated for a short period of time before it unlocks where you can use any SIM in it. But for the most part, just feeling it in the hand and everything like that was pretty cool. And the camera is decent for what it is. But I'll have some real-time usage once I get back from vacation. So over the holidays, I'll be testing the Blue View 5. So I'll be able to do that then. So I wanted to share an issue that I ran into with Metro by T-Mobile. I'm trying to activate the Pixel 10 on it. I did put the Metro line on my Pixel 10 just because I wanted to test it out and see how it is, obviously. And man, is there such a big difference between Google Fi and Metro by T-Mobile on the T-Mobile network access. So Google Fi gets better connectivity, I'll tell you that right now. And obviously so, Metro by T-Mobile basically being on a lower priority access compared to T-Mobile postpaid. So when they say that Google Fi's network connectivity on the T-Mobile network is on par with, T-Mobile postpaid, they're not lying. I get way better connection with Google Fi 5G than I do with Metro by T-Mobile. Even though Metro by T-Mobile shows a 5G ultra capacity logo on the top, it's much slower than Google Fi. But anyways, I wanted to try that out. And so I tried to activate it through Metro's website because, Metro pushes everybody to the website, right? If you try to go in store, they want to charge you like a fee to switch devices. If you call in by phone, they want to charge you a fee to do it by phone. But if you do it through the website, it's free. So of course I'm always going to go the website route, and I try to go through the website to do an IMEI swap and swap the device. And you have to be careful with that because if you're on the $25 plan, for some freaking reason, it always wants to change your plan. Don't go through with the plan change, because if you accept the plan change just to activate the phone, then if you call back in to try to get back on the $25 plan, they can refuse you to get back on that plan because you clicked to agree to switch. So don't do it. Well, Tito, how do I switch it then if it wants me to switch my plan? Start over is what I'm going to tell you guys. So when you get to that point where you get to the device swap on the line that you want to swap, and you plug in the new IMEI, you hit next, and then it shows the information for the new phone that's going on Metro and the old phone's information that's going off Metro. And then it tells you that this phone is not compatible with the current plan that you're on. You have to change your plan. Hit cancel. Hit the Metro by T-Mobile logo to go back to the main page, and then hit to the top corner where it says My Account, and then go back to Account, and it's going to go back to your account dashboard. Find your phone line again, click on it, click Swap Device, and then put the IMEI back in. And that second time around you're putting it in, when you hit continue, it's not going to ask you to change the plan. That's a glitch on the website. They say it's a glitch. I don't think it's a glitch. I'm going to call it for what it is. Honestly, I think that's just their way of getting people to get off the $25 plan. And so they make it seem like it's some sort of website glitch, but this has been going on for years, and I've reported feedback that happens, and it's never been addressed. And you can't tell me that they don't have smart enough software engineers that can go in there and fix that. Okay, this is Metro by T-Mobile under the T-Mobile umbrella, for cripe's sakes. They should be able to fix that 2 years ago when I submitted a feedback complaint. I don't know how many else people had spotted that and had given feedback, but I think that's just a purpose thing that they do. So yeah, again, I'm going to reiterate this. If you're activating a new phone on your Metro by T-Mobile account and you are on a promotional plan, like a $25 plan or something like that, when you try to do the IMEI swap and it tells you that your phone's not compatible with your current plan, you must change your price plan in order to activate your new phone. Do not do it. Just exit out of that. Go back in, sign back into your Metro account, and try again. The second time around that you try to do the device switch, and it will go through without asking you to change your device. Now, the Pixel 10 problem, which is obviously I expected them to have this because the Pixel 10 is a new phone and whatnot. So the first time I attempted to do it after getting past that whole change your plan glitch, it was literally telling me that the IMEI is a 15-digit number and to make sure that I'm inputting that correctly. Because when I first put in the IMEI and hit continue to go, it gave me an error. Oops, something went wrong. And then when I refreshed and I was at my account dashboard, my price plan had changed to $0. So I was like, what the hell? And, I waited a couple of hours thinking that maybe they were having a technical issue. Tried again about 4 hours later, and same thing. Oops, there's a problem. And then I tried again, and it changed my price plan to $0. And it was like, what? So eventually, I ended up calling in to Metro by T-Mobile. I kept explaining to them, like, look, I got a new phone. And you know what? Like, I know that they have call centers in the Philippines, call centers in India. So it's like, yeah, you have to deal with that stuff. It so totally sucks. So I was trying to explain to the lady because she was just like, oh, are we going to be, because first I explained to her what I tried to do. And then she was like, I'll walk you through it over the phone so you don't have to be charged $25 right now. I'm like, okay, yeah, that's fine. So we do it together over the phone. And then I told her, again, oops, we have a problem. She's like, oh, there's an error. Let me see if I can get the $25 fee waived. And she went and talked to her supervisor, and they waived the $25, device swap fee. And I was like, cool, all right. She was going to do it on her end. And so I was trying to explain to her, because she was like, are we going to be using the physical SIM card that you already have? I'm like, no, you can't. Pixel 10s only have eSIM. And she's like, what do you mean only eSIM? I'm like, there's no SIM tray. There's an eSIM 1 and an eSIM 2. eSIM 1 can hold 4 eSIM profiles, and eSIM 2 can hold another 4 eSIM profiles. She's like, oh. And then to make it easier for her, because I realized this, I was like probably talking in tongues to her. She was like, so there's no physical SIM? I'm like, no, it's like the iPhone, 15. She's like, oh, you got to do it that way. And 25 minutes later, after whatever they were doing while I was sitting on hold, they got the device switched. So Pixel 10s obviously have an issue right now activating on Metro by T-Mobile. Not everyone's going to run into this issue. I'm pretty sure some people are going to be like, well, I did my switch and my switch went through. Well, that's great. Eat a donut, sit over there. But I went through this problem. I looked on Reddit. I seen people talk about the same problem. I looked on social media, on other platforms. I've seen people talk about this problem. So I'm not the only one. There are other people who are facing it. So what I want people to know is that you can, in fact, get your Pixel 10 activated on Metro. It's just going to take a little bit of effort. How long is this going to last? Probably not long. I'm pretty sure T-Mobile is well aware of this. Because when I was trying to do it myself and it kept giving me an error, I was like, oh, maybe the Pixel 10 is not compatible with them. And so I went and, I did their IMEI check on both T-Mobile's website and on Metro's website. They have an IMEI checker, and then both came back with the same results. You have a Pixel 10. It is unlocked. It is compatible with the T-Mobile network. You want to activate this? Want to sign up with a new account? Like, no, I already have an account. I just want to put it on there. So I'm just like, yeah, well, it is what it is. It is what it is. But that's how you fix that problem. I mean, you have if you're running into it, if you're getting, oops, there's something went wrong error over and over again when you're trying to do a device swap on Metro with your Pixel 10. Remember, do not change your price plan, because if you do that, they will count that as you agree to change your plan, and they will not change you back on. And they will give you the runaround, and you'll talk to different managers until they hang up on you. So don't spare yourself the headache. Do not agree to change your plan. Do not go with a plan change when you're trying to swap to a Pixel 10. Just log out of your account, relog back in, and start over. If you're running into that, oops, something went wrong error, call into Metro by T-Mobile, tell them what happened. And don't try to speed the process up. If they're like, oh, let's do it over the phone, I'll be with you as you do it. Just shut up and do it. That way you can tell them, I tried again and, it said, oops, something went wrong. And don't bullshit them either. Don't be like, I tried it, it gave me the same error again. They'll know, because they can see on their system end if a device swap was attempted. So just do it. Put the IMEI, go through the whole process with them on the phone, hit, to switch, and then get the same error you got as to why you called in, so they can see that you attempted it, it didn't allow you, so they can go to a manager and say, hey, this guy was trying to do it on the website, he's tried, it's not working, we need to help him, so we need to waive the $25 fee. Because I'll tell you right now, the way to get the fee waived is a supervisor has to come, the supervisor has to waive the fee, the supervisor has to attach their ID number to that waiver, so that way it counts and you don't get charged the $25 device swap fee. Once that supervisor does that, then the rep can proceed to go through switching the device for you, collecting the IMEI, double checking the IMEI, double checking the EID, and then doing the swap and change. So just go through it. It may take a length of time, so don't do it on your lunch break when you only got a 30-minute lunch break. That's pretty stupid. Never, people, for the love of Jeebus, never call in to customer care for a phone issue on your work lunch break. They are not guaranteed to resolve your problem in 30 minutes or less, or an hour less, depending on how long of a lunch break you have. I would always get aggravated when people would call, because they would yell at me, cuss me out, talk so much crap to me, because they want this issue with their their iPhone or their Samsung to be resolved, and they called on their lunch break because they need to get this resolved, and they need their phone, and blah, blah, blah. They tell you everything under the sun. My phone is used for work and yada, yada, yada. I handle multi-million-dollar transactional deals on my phone. Like, first of all, why would you even do that? You know, your phone's not the most secure thing in the world to handle that kind of money. But anyways, and I would tell them, like, this is going to take a length of time. All the troubleshooting we have to do is probably going to take your entire lunch break. And then if we find a problem, then we'll be able to resolve it. But then that might take 20 minutes more. It could take 48 hours. So we'll have to submit a ticket and make sure it gets fixed. We'll have to contact you back. And they get so mad. Oh, you couldn't fix it now. Like, I wish I had godlike powers to just, your phone is fixed now. Man, I would be doing that every day. I'd be like, hey, meet me on a live stream at this time and smash the like button and all the other stuff. And then tell me your problem and I'll snap your problems away. I have the Midas snap. Oh, you're not able to reach, 5G ultra wideband. Here we go. Boom, your phone's fixed. Oh my God, your bill was 3 cents over and you don't want to pay it. All right, let's reduce it. Boom, bill fixed. Your phone screen broke. Snap, screen repaired. I wish I had the ability to do that, man. I would be so badass at technical support, but nobody has that capability to snap and resolve problems in seconds. So let's just be a little patient. Don't call for help on your phone bill, on your phone service, on your device if you're on a lunch break. Do it on a day off. Do it after work. And don't do it commuting home. Before I leave, I'll share you guys one story that happened, and I felt so bad. I was talking to a woman on the phone. She called in. She had legitimate problems. This was on Consumer Cellular. Consumer Cellular has home phone service as well, which is not even really home phone service. What it is it's one of those house phones, those cordless house phones, and like the base of the phone has a SIM card slot. You put the consumer cell SIM in there, and then the phone pretty much connects to the wireless network, but it's a cordless phone. And so like this lady was calling in, she was troubleshooting issues with it because she had just gotten it. She set it up and she can't make phone calls and stuff like that. So we're troubleshooting. I did not know she was driving home from work because that's not something that customer care asks. We're not going to ever ask you, are you driving currently at this time and are you safely pulled over? Like, no. So, she was calling, she was talking, and, when I was nearly done resolving, because really what it took was just I had to push the activation through to finish that SIM's activation, and then basically refresh the connection, and it was gonna work. But she wasn't at home to test it anyways. And so when we got into that point when I was like, okay, I pushed the activation through, it shows that the line is now currently active, so you should be able to do a test call. I guess she put me on hold and called from her other line on her cell phone. It rang, but then she got back on with me and I was trying to tell her, well, that's not the type of test call I want to do, because yes, the line will ring, but there's no foretelling, did you hear it ring? Because she didn't hear it ring. And then that's when she let me know she wasn't home. And then I had to explain to her, you need to be home for this test call because we're going to do a test call from the home phone device. And at the moment I was explaining all that to her, she got into an accident. And all I do is I hear her scream. And that's because she wasn't paying attention to the car in front of her, and the car had stopped and she was still rolling at her current speed. So she collided with the car, and I was like, oh my God. I felt so bad and everything. And at one point she almost hinted that she was trying to blame me for her accident. And I was just like, it was funny because I had told my team lead about it, and they can hop on the call and listen. So all they got to do is they can jack into my actual current call with the customer. Any call center can do this. If you guys didn't know that, they can. A manager can jack in onto the call and mute their microphone and listen to what you're saying to the customer rep. So they can listen to what I'm saying to you. They can listen to what you're saying to me. And really, it's, for quality. This is why they tell you that little thing. I do have to let you know that this call can be monitored for quality assurance. We have to give you that disclaimer because there's a possibility a manager can jump in and listen on that call. And so when I told my manager, because she was like, they can hear the screaming from my headphones. They were like, what happened? And I muted my microphone. Like, my customer just got into a car accident. And the people were so nosy. They hopped on to listen because they wanted to hear if she was okay. And they wanted to listen and everything like that. And so they were listening in, and they heard the lady almost try to blame me for the accident. And my team lead, she was so cool. I love her to death. She was so cool. And she comes walking up, and she's like, she taps me on the shoulder, and then she does this. This is her signal for, like, place the customer on hold. So I told the customer, I'm like, hey, let me look into something really quickly. Please do not disconnect from me. If you do, just know I will give you a call back immediately if I lose you. I'm going to place you on a brief 1 to 2 minute hold, and I'll be right back with you. She's like, and I put her on hold, and my manager was like, well, don't take that crap from her. She's not going to blame us because she failed to tell you that she was driving home. So this is on her. She's like, do not let her blame you for it. I was like, and they're like, but make sure you don't argue with her. And I'm like, I'm not going to argue with her. I'm not mad. So anyways, I got back to the call. The lady still tried to low key sneak under the desk, blame me. And I'm just like, ma'am, you should have told me that you were driving, because I could have at least asked you if you wanted me to give you a scheduled call back when you got home. We do this type of service where we will give you a call back if you're not available technically to do some troubleshooting. And I've heard customers get into a car accident while talking to me about trying to fix their phone service and things like that. So I would say, don't call on your lunch break. Don't call while you're driving. Call us when you're at home, and call us when you have ample time to troubleshoot, like 2 hours. 2 hours at best, because if a troubleshooting is going to go up to 2 hours, I guarantee you they're just going to create a ticket with the back office technical support team, and then they will just work on the issue behind the scenes and then give you a call when they resolve it. That's how that works. I am tempted to port my number to get the iPhone 17 Pro Max and some other services. I still need to call about to get my Pixel unlocked. You can call, or you can just chat through the Boost mobile app. Just open up a chat and just tell them, like, hey, I want to get my Pixel 10 Pro unlocked because I want to add my work phone line onto my Pixel 10 Pro. And they'll go through the whole thing, and they'll let you know that it's that the unlocking ability is available, or if it's not available, they'll tell you why. If it's available, they'll submit a ticket. They'll let you know what the ticket number is, so you write it down for your reference, and then they'll tell you it's about a 48-hour turnaround time before your device is unlocked. And then you'll get an email and a message letting you know that your device is unlocked. And then you just wait that 48-hour period. That's all you really got to do. You don't really have to necessarily call them over the phone unless you like to talk to somebody because you want to get their name and everything like that. You could do that. I would always suggest, if you're requesting a network unlock on a device, the ticket number is obviously a good thing to write down. Don't just say, yeah, I'll collect the ticket number and screenshot it, because you could lose a screenshot. Write it down. That ticket number has everyone that is connected to that resolution, right? So the chat rep you chatted with, or the phone rep you spoke with, they're tied to that ticket number. The back office team representative that is doing the unlock, they're tied to that ticket number. And then the call center where the call was received at when you called in or when you chatted in, that's attached to the ticket number. So always keep the ticket number. That way you're good. Anyways, guys, so that's pretty much it for today's live stream. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully you guys found it informative. Again, shout out to those who voted in the poll. 50% for Visible by Verizon. So Visible by Verizon takes the win when it comes to these 4 different providers on the Verizon network. I will do one for the T-Mobile network sometime next week. I am almost done working on the iOS 26.0.1 update. And why you do need to update to it, obviously, is because of that fatal flaw in iOS 26, which is a security vulnerability. So if you have not taken the iOS 26.0.1 update, do it. All right. You may be in fear, is it making it glitchy or anything like that? Screw that. I would want this vulnerability that is in iOS 26. I would want it patched. Okay, there's no confirmations that people have found this exploit and has done anything malicious to anybody's iPhone. But if Apple's concerned about the security risk, you should be concerned about the security risk. So if you have not installed iOS 26.0.1, install it. And then look out for my video. I might drop it today or tomorrow, depending on how I feel. But I got some last minute editing to do and touch ups and stuff like that. And I'll have the video out. So be on the lookout for that video. If anything, we are in the month of October, so very, very, very happy Halloween to everybody. For the month, I am going to be watching a ton of scary movies and doing all the festives and stuff like that. So I appreciate you guys for being here. You guys are awesome, and I will talk to you on the next one.